Hi everyone, welcome to Chalchitra Talks. I'm Vaani, and I don't know how many of you have actually finished reading Submarine, but we have a surprise for you, and I am overwhelmed because the author of Submarine actually is going to join us today, and he's here with us. Hi Joe, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
That was a terrible introduction, and I'm really sorry
Fine?
about it.
That's good.
But I am so happy that you joined us, and I know so many people who were really happy to know that you'll be joining us today. So
That's
I
fine.
just, yeah. Do you have some I don't know any trivia's for us? Or I know you were practicing creative writing when you wrote Submarine, and yeah.
Yeah, I guess I started it when I was still a student. So I was studying English literature and creative writing, and it was more or less the last thing I wrote in my degree. And I'd experimented with all sorts of different kinds of writing. I never really felt like I'd got it right. I just felt like something was always missing. And then I wrote a chapter from the point of view of this character, Oliver. I guess I didn't even know it was a chapter then, it was a short story. And it was the first time that I've written that I thought, okay, I'm actually doing something that works here. Um, and then I read another short story about this same character, and another short story about the same character, and another, and another, and another. I didn't even really realize what was happening is that I was writing a novel. It took me about 20,000 words before I thought, hang on a minute, these might be chapters, not stories. Um, yeah, and then I spent the next few years working on that.
And how much do you relate to the character? Because we had maintained an email thread with a lot of people who were reading the book, and
Mm.
they loved the character, Oliver Dale.
Okay.
How much do you relate to him?
Well, that's nice to hear because I really like him too. But it's been quite interesting. Well, when you have your discussion, I'm sure you'll talk about this. But he does some questionable things, and his behavior is not always impeccable. But I guess for me, I think of him as likable and flawed, like most people are. Um, he, in terms of how he relates to me, I guess like all characters, he comes out of my own mind. So in some sense, he is me, and I certainly think of him as like maybe an evil version of myself, not evil, an even more dysfunctional version of myself. I took the more awkward parts of myself and I shoved them together into one boy.
Oh, and I had another question for you. What do you think of the film Submarine? Because we also have a movie club, and
Hmm.
they love the film. The film has a cult following. So,
Hmm.
what was your take on the film when it came out?
I was really happy with the film. I was so happy with it. Any author will be excited to have their book turned into a film, and I guess knowing that sometimes it goes badly wrong and the film is a terrible version of the book, I was really happy with how the film turned out. Obviously, the acting's amazing, it's beautifully directed, the music is so good. Um, it was really thrilling, and there was lots of ways in which the experience of watching the film get made was really exciting for me because they let me be part of that process. And so I worked on the script with the director Richard, and then when they were shooting the film, which was all done in Swansea in South Wales, um, I got to go on set on a few days. It's like these amazing, strange feeling of something you've imagined in your bedroom 2 or 3 years previous is suddenly real. Like the school from my book, they'd used a real school, but they'd changed all the uniforms and they changed the name over the gates. And the day I arrived there, they were shooting a scene, but I couldn't see the cameras. So I just walked in and it just felt like a real school from my imagination had been transported into Swansea and they were playing out scenes from my mind. It was a really amazing, surreal experience.
Yeah. So, what kind of so Joe writes a diary as well, and that was one of the most funniest parts of the book as well.
Mhm.
Uh, do you also maintain a journal? It's out of the blue, and I'm so sorry for asking this already. But do you also maintain a journal like that? And
Don't.
how did that idea actually come about?
I don't maintain a journal. I never have had a diary. But as a writer, I guess there's a part of being a writer that's a bit like that anyway. Like I have a notebook at all times and I take notes about the world and about my life. So it's not strictly a diary, but I have that experience of writing down my thoughts every day. But
Mm.
the reason I chose to have him write a diary is, I guess, to allow there to be more than one kind of way that the novel communicates with you. So there's a bit of variety because I feel like when you're just inside Oliver's head for 300 pages and he's talking at you the whole time, that might get a bit
Yeah,
monotonous. So I wanted to try and find a way to give some variety to the approach of the book.
yeah. Thank you so much, Joe. And I don't know if I have any questions. I'm so overwhelmed, and I was just thrown aback when you replied. And yeah,
Yeah, it was a surprise.
yeah. And I just have one last question for you. Uh,
Hmm.
a lot of people here read, like a lot of us are readers here. Do you have any books that you can recommend to us if the ones that you absolutely love?
Yes, I'm trying to think if there's any ones I've read recently that I've been really enjoying. Um, well, one of my all-time favorites is a book called White Noise by Don DeLillo, which I love because it's funny, but also literary and clever and strange. And I'm always looking for those books that manage to make me laugh while still making me feel and think and all the other things too, because I think it's a really
Yeah.
difficult thing to get right. So yeah, White Noise by Don DeLillo. Um, what else have I read recently? I've been reading lots of poetry. I don't know why. Maybe this whole lockdown thing in London has made it hard to concentrate on a novel, but I've been reading loads and loads of great poetry.
Okay. Um, Thank you so much, Joe. And I think someone in the comments asked you, like, what is your take on the soundtrack of the film Submarine? Because it's become really popular among us.
Yeah, I love the soundtrack. Yeah, it's amazing. I think that the process of Alex writing that is that he read the book and he read the script of the film, and then he wrote the songs after that. And what I really like about the songs, particularly the way they've been used in the film, is that you can sometimes hear an echo between the lyrics in the songs and what's happening on the screen. And so I love the
Yeah.
interaction between the film and the songs. Um, he's also obviously just an amazing songwriter, so it's great to um, enjoy that. But it really felt like,
And yeah,
no, go ahead.
no, I was moving on to something else, but please complete
No,
your
just
thought.
that it's not often I feel like the songs and the film are so well put together, so well matched, I guess.
Yeah. And have you ever been to India?
Oh yeah, multiple times. Yes, I've spent quite a long time in India.
What parts did you actually go to?
I've been to loads of different parts. My wife's mother is Indian, so she's half Indian. So her family are from Kerala. So I've spent time in Kerala, but also in Mumbai and in Calcutta, and I've been to the Himalayas, and I've been to the northeast, out to like yeah, we traveled all over down the east coast. I mean, yeah, lots of places.
So, this is something I ask a lot of people who join us for discussions, and I
Mhm.
just I thought it'll be a good idea to ask you as well. So, a lot of times when we read books, we so for me, I particularly imagine even if a book is by a Japanese author, say Murakami, I imagine somehow Indian faces only, Indianized faces. What do you imagine when you read about characters who are perhaps Japanese or say they might be Indian, but do you always think of them in your head to be English in that way?
That's a really good question. I guess one of the interesting things about books is that, particularly when it's a first person narrative like Submarine, essentially you're hearing that character's voice in your head. You are becoming the person. So I think in that case, I'm not sure I guess I must imagine a person, but it's almost like I'm living them in the same way that I can't see myself because I'm looking out of my eyes. You know, I'm not sure that I would, with the narrator anyway, visualize them. But I guess the other characters in the book, I hope that I wouldn't make them all English people. I hope that if it was a book about Japanese or Indian people, my imagination would be powerful enough to imagine them as different to myself.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought. Oh, and I have another friend. Since you're an author, so I'm going to ask you. And that's Weber, who joined us. And he likes to imagine whatever he's reading as per his convenience instead of what the author has written. So if you have introduced, if you say the woman has hair until her waist, he will, and if he imagines someone with brown hair, and on the 91st page, say the author makes it clear to him that the woman had black hair, he would not go ahead and imagine the woman in black hair because he
Yes.
just finds it better in his image to think of the woman as someone who has brown hair. And
Yeah.
what is your take on that? Should you move according to what the author has written, or
That's
should you just let your imagination flow?
That's so interesting. I think from a reader's point of view, I agree with that person. I would just do what feels good for me. Like if I have a very vivid sense of a character, and sometimes we imagine people we know into books, or we take images from things we know, and that's how we get a really strong visual sense. So if the author then says, "Oh, and by the way, they've dyed their hair pink," and you're like, "No, I don't. That's not good enough for me. I'm much happier with my previous version of them." I think that's fine. I guess it depends if it's important to the story. If the author says and then they died, and you're like, "No, they didn't die. They're alive in my head," then that might be a problem.
Yeah. I think there's some internet problem at my end. I'm really sorry about that. And I think this will be one of my last questions. What is that? Because we just experienced a pandemic and everyone has been very anxious and everything is just suddenly uncertain.
Hmm.
What would your suggestion be if you're anxious or if you need some ground and someone is looking for that in books? What would your suggestion be or recommendation be for people who are very anxious and just want to find security in the books they read?
Yeah. Well, I I guess for me, it's
I know a lot of people had that.
yeah. I was just going to say that.
So I was just saying there are a lot of people in the emails that we were. I'm really sorry. Please go on.
This is a
I think there's some internet instability at my end, and then it just
delay.
yeah.
I was just going to say that I found myself returning to books that I love. I don't normally reread books,
Yeah.
but this year I've gone back to books that I know are going to make me happy, and I know the mood of. Like there's one book, actually it was made into a film recently, called The Sisters Brothers, about these two cowboys. It's also very funny and very brilliant, by a guy called Patrick DeWitt. And I know I love that book, and it makes me so happy. So I've gone back to that and started reading that again, because it was like, I guess it was like going back to curling up on the sofa and just knowing that you're going to have a good time, so have a nice sleep or something. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Joe. And I know you told us that you don't have a lot of time on your plate, but thank you so much for making time for us anyway,
My
uh,
pleasure.
in between your schedule. And
Yeah,
yes, thank you so much. And
thank you so much. I hope you have a good discussion, and I hope it all goes well. And thanks for reading the book. Okay. Good.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hi,
Hello.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Hello,
you.
Mr. Dunthorne.
Hello. Where are you all?
I am in Delhi.
I'm currently in Houston, Texas.
Are you? Okay.
Yes,
Amazing.
it's really great to meet you. It's actually the first time I'm meeting an author from a book I read.
Same.
Oh, good. Well, I hope you have a great discussion. And thanks for reading the book. And yeah, hopefully Vaani.
Really enjoyed the book.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I mean, the way you have entered a mind of a teenager and the way you have written it on paper, it's just fabulous.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And I really liked the sense of humor and the timing of that humor. It was so unexpected. It used to come at times when it was totally unexpected. So it was fun reading that.
I'm so pleased. That's great. Well, I'll leave you to it. Have a wonderful discussion. Nice to meet you all, and yeah, have fun.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you. See you.
Bye, Joe. Good night. Yeah. I think my internet connection has never been worse.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, chalta hai. But like, guys, before we get to it, Vani, how was
Hi.
it? Like, how was the experience? This was so cool.
It was really nice. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Adamya.
Hi,
I hope
Vaani.
I
Hello,
pronounced your
hello,
name
But
right.
like, guys,
Hi,
अब
Abha.
वानी
Yeah,
हम
yeah,
उनको भी
Hi.
entertain करेंगे. But पहले आप ये बताओ आपका experience कैसा रहा? Because we just messaged him and he joined. It was so kind of him. Can you guys hear me now? Like, बहुत लोग मेरे को लोग सुन ही नहीं पा रहे थे. Yeah. So
Yeah.
112 people are watching. So Vani, tell us how was the experience for you? And he was liking your questions a lot.
I'm so glad he did. I never had the worst, like, I had never had a worse internet connection. For the first time, it was so bad, and I was like, I don't know. But yeah.
This is such a great start to a book a month series with Vani क्योंकि first book जो हमने उठाई, we just had the author of that book with us. So next जो हम उठा रहे हैं, I think अब उनको कहाँ से लाएंगे? But yeah, by the way guys, 113 लोग देख रहे हैं. At the end of the stream, we'll be revealing the book that we are picking up for Feb. And I'm so glad कि you guys are like joining us. 115 people are here. ओजस्वी आपके फ्रेंड्स आए हैं. संगिनी, हाय ओजस्वी दीदी कह रहे हो आपको. एंड
Hi, Sangini.
या सो गाइज लेट्स आप लोगों का हम आपके बारे में जानते हैं. ओजस्वी, आभा एंड मैं आपका नाम अदम्य राइट?
Adamya, yeah,
अदम्य.
yeah,
सो
Adamya.
गाइज ओजस्वी से स्टार्ट करते हैं. आप लोग हमें प्लीज इंट्रोड्यूस कराइए. टेल अस अ लिटिल अबाउट योरसेल्फ ओजस्वी.
Okay. So my full name is Ojasvi Vakshajani, and I stay in Delhi. I'm a dental student in final year BDS, and I love reading books. Though due to workload, I started reading a little less, but the initiative taken by Chalchitra Talks, that is a book a month with Vaani, I'll get to explore 12 different genres of book at the end of 2021, and I'll be proud of myself. So thank you so much, Chalchitra Talks.
Nice. And guys, जब इंट्रोड्यूस करा रहे हो ना, तो हमारी थोड़ी तारीफ करनी होगी. आपको बताना होगा what is that one thing you like about Chalchitra Talks. So Ojasvi, what is that one thing that you
Okay.
like the most about Chalchitra Talks?
You have perfect people for all the types of things. For example, be it books, Suvani is perfect. She has read all the different kinds of books, and the recommendations are all extraordinary. Music, Sumedha, so that is again, so you have perfect people for all the genres.
Nice.
Especially like 2 to 3 days back, I discovered Pathik.
Nice.
And then I realized that I have keen interest in Hindi Urdu poetry. That was again a very interesting thing that I discovered about myself also, that how much I like Hindi and Urdu poetry. So you have perfect people, and please maintain that essence, I'll say.
This is so nice. आपकी एक और friend Himangini is also here. बहुत सारे आपके fans हैं obviously. So moving on to Abha. Like, hi Abha, please introduce yourself.
Hi, yes, I'm Abha and I'm from Mysore, Karnataka. I'm a doctor. I finished MBBS and I'm currently preparing for my post-graduation. And I'm here in United States visiting my parents. I came across Chalchitra talks from a video of recommendations from Anand Gandhi. And I was glad I came across this because I see so many people who have very adventurous hobbies. They go scuba diving, bungee jumping. And when people ask me for my hobbies, it's just reading a book or watching a movie. That's all it is. And then Chalchitra Talks actually validated these interests for me. And I'm really happy I found a platform where there are like-minded people. And one thing I really like about Chalchitra Talks is it has to be the deep dive lyrics. It's with Pathik. I just love his voice. And I also like the fact that you just kept the audio in that and there's like no other, like there's no video. So you get to enjoy that poetry completely. So yeah.
How nice. Adamya, let's move on to you.
I'm Adamya. I'm from Jaipur. And
you are from Jaipur?
Yes.
Oh, I'm from Jaipur. Where in Jaipur?
Oh, where are you? Pratapnagar.
Oh, nice. मैं मेरा लोकेशन रिवील नहीं करूंगा क्योंकि फिर
sure. and I'm pursuing engineering, my BTech. I'm in second year from MNIT Jaipur.
Oh, nice, yeah. तारीफ तो करो चलचित्र की.
We have 2 doctors and
2 doctors and engineer.
I mean, and I stumbled upon Chalchitra Talks through your recommendations video, your Varun Groh recommendations. He recommended some movies, and Anand Gandhi. I'm a big fan of Anand Gandhi, so I loved your recommendation video. And when I see your videos, I feel like I'm talking to someone whom I really wanted to talk to from a long time, and I finally get an opportunity, though it is one way, but I really love it. Yeah, you speak my thoughts, so it's amazing.
This is so nice, and we are so glad to have you guys on board for this first session of a book a month with Vaani. And like हम eventually guys 120 people, आप लोग end तक रुकना because the book we have decided for Feb. I think you are going to love it, and we are very very excited about that one too. And अब discussion start करते हैं, and over to you Vaani, like you can take it from here.
So I don't know, we had discussed, and I was so glad you guys wrote to us in emails, because I think someone in the comments was asking how do I join the stream. You basically join the book club and you write to us, and then if you're interested, we always get you in for the streams. But I was so glad to hear all of you and your input. I did not read Ojasvi ka email initially because there were a lot of spoilers. And Adamya had one great suggestion, so I think a lot of us will be taking that as well, right? So why don't you guys start with what were your favorite parts when you were reading Submarine? Do you want to go alphabetically? Because then I think we'll jump to Abha.
Yeah, sure. I like the Delirium Tremens chapter. It's when he breaks into Graham's home and he's completely sloshed, right? He's totally out. And what I liked about that chapter was because it's written in Oliver's point of view, you can literally feel, when you're reading the chapter, you can feel yourself being intoxicated along with him. Be it like when he gets sick, he starts puking and he's going in that car. And when I was reading it, I felt like I was intoxicated with him. So that's one part I liked. And also the one more thing I like about this book, like when I was telling Mr. Dunthorne, was that the story, it's just like a normal day. It'll be going at a nice pace. and then all of a sudden there's an event that happens when you're wondering, is this like what actually happened? So I just went back and I had to read that part again. For example, when he went for a vacation in Italy and he's just taking a walk by the beach, and all of a sudden he just jumps into the sea and starts calling for his parents because he wants to give them a sense of purpose. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this what really happened? So I just went back and read that part again. So yeah, it was very fun. It's really not my kind of, I would not go for this genre, but I'm glad as part of this book club, I was able to read it. And yeah, it was nice.
Nice. What about you, Adamya? Since we're going alphabetically.
Yes. So for me also, my favorite chapter was the one where he breaks into Graham's house and everything, because that is just written so perfectly that I I I was when I was reading it, I was reading it slowly, like in an intoxicated voice, like I was drunk, and that was just amazing. And in the larger scheme of things, in the books, from when it started to when it ended, the emotional and mental journey which this boy Oliver went through, like in the starting we feel he is very detached from emotions, and he makes us feel like that because that is his kind of I think he, for this character, he gets his exclusivity from this fact that he's smarter than others, and he has an amazing vocabulary. So like in his daily conversation, he uses words which he knows others won't know. So like he gets his kick from it. So the way the chapters which are written through the diary, I really like them, because that gave me his perspective, the character's perspective. And yeah, the way he was detached in the starting, and at the end we know that he has matured through this course of book. I feel he has, because he has come to terms with his emotions. That is pretty beautiful. That I really liked it.
I'm so happy that everyone, while explaining what they liked about the book, is very careful not to reveal any spoilers. And I am pretty certain of people who have joined us now are, I don't know, who haven't read the book can be relieved, because we don't plan on giving any spoilers as well, Abhi. What about you, Jasvi? What did you like about the book?
So I'll say it in general, not a particular chapter. So I like how much Oliver is concerned about his parents. So he observes littlest of things about his parents, their day-to-day routine. He goes to their rooms and what pills his father is taking. And kind of I think that he expects the same from his parents in return. But however, his parents are involved in their own lives, not caring or not as such concerned about their son. And he does things to gain their attention, literally deliberately does things to gain their attention. So that is one part. And another was he asked his parents that if me and, for example, he asked his mother that if me and my father are in danger, whom will you save first? So that, and the answer his mother and father gave to him were totally different. His father said that I will first save your mother and we both together will save you. And when he asked his mother, she says that I will first save you, but I'll only save you, but I'll feel bad for your father. So this explains his parents, that his father is mature, practical. His mother is more concerned. His mother is concerned about her son, and she, at a lot of points in the book, she ignores her father, his husband. So that is that was whole the story is based on. Also, at some point, Oliver behaves very maturely. Like, for example, he tells his mother that you're unwilling to address the vacuum in your interpersonal experience, to which his mother just ignores his comment. And at some point, I realized that Oliver is behaving in a very childish manner, as if he's like a 5 to 7 year old. So this is again just like a teenager. Some point he is mature, some point he is behaving in a childish way. So that whole thing, that was quite enjoyable. And especially that letter to Zoe, that how she should fit in.
Yeah.
So that was again very...
Let's try not to give spoilers for people who haven't reached there.
Sure.
But आप thought complete कर सकते हो
I
ओजस्वी
I
आप
think my internet connection is a
Yeah.
little. Yeah. You can complete your thought.
ओजस्वी
Just try not to give it. Yeah.
Okay, no spoilers. Just that the letter was really entertaining. The whole letter was entertaining, and all the
Yeah.
points were really valid.
आप
Yeah,
आ-
nice.
आप सबने मूवी भी देखी है क्या? What's your opinion of the movie, guys?
I have not watched the movie
Even I
yet.
haven't.
अच्छा,
I've just seen the
ओजस्वी आपने
trailer.
मूवी देखी? How do you like the
Okay,
movie?
yeah, I watched the movie after reading the book, as you had warned us. But personally, I like the book better. I mean, I'm sure all of you will have different opinions, but I didn't like the movie much because the way when I read a book, I go with the flow. In movie, there is one part, then there's another part. I can't get with the flow. So that's what I most of the time I don't watch movies. I rather prefer reading books.
Yeah.
So if I would have watched movie earlier, then I might have liked the movie. But after reading the book, I will say that I preferred the book much more than the movie.
एक आप लोगों ने मूवी देखी है मूनराइज किंगडम बाय वेस एंडरसन? वो बेसिकली ना,
No.
सो एवरी टाइम आई सी अ विजुअल फ्रॉम सबमरीन, मेरे दिमाग में सबसे पहला विजुअल मूनराइज किंगडम का आता है. वानी, हैव यू
Yeah.
सीन इट?
I haven't seen the film, but I know what film you're talking about.
बिकॉज उसमें वो बच्चे एक स्काउट कैंप पे जाते हैं, लाइक देयर इज अ गाय
Yeah.
एंड देयर इज अ गर्ल, लाइक ही इज इन्फैचुएटेड टू, और लाइक उनके लाइक जो भी इंटरेक्शंस है वो इतने ज्यादा लाइक द इनसिक्योरिटीज यू
Similar है.
हैव
Yeah.
एज अ किड, और लाइक व्हेन दे आर हगिंग एंड दे आर लाइक कि नो आई विल गेट बेटर वगैरह. तो मतलब मैं एग्जैक्ट वर्ड्स नहीं बता सकता, बट या यू गाइस शुड डेफिनेटली चेक आउट मूनराइज किंगडम आल्सो बाय वेस एंडरसन इफ यू हैवंट. बट या वानी?
Yeah. I don't know the reason why. I had a few, like, I found it a little, I was really scared initially in the first half of the book. I remember texting Weber. Okay, Weber, I don't know, I'm afraid how people are going to react, because there are a few scenes which might be too adultish for a few people that are picking up the book. But over the, like, as the book, like, grew, I really loved Oliver Tate and how he addresses everything in a third. He tries to detach himself from everything. But I think, like, I have this page underlined and I absolutely love it. जब उसका breakup हो जाएगा एक point पे, which is a spoiler, I know. But the way he deals with it, I honestly, if someone were to ask me, book would you recommend if someone is going through a breakup, I would recommend this book. Like, you shouldn't, yeah, why not? But yeah. And what if you were to, like, give one favorite liner from the book, all of you, what line would that be? Just one line. Abhav, Jasvi and Adamya.
Do you guys have the copies of Submarine with you?
Yes.
दिखाओ ना guys, ऐसे एक फोटो लेते हैं सारे.
I
Mine is an ebook.
I
so
read it. Yeah, yes,
I have an
I
ebook
read from
too.
an ebook as well.
Kindle में भी है या कहीं भी है तो दिखा सकते हो.
अभी Kindle मेरे पास है नहीं, मेरे पास फोन में पड़ी होगी.
फोन ऐसे दिखा दो, लाइक ऐसे
Kindle app
मतलब
में.
एक फोटो ले लेते हैं ना, इंस्टा पे डालें. हाँ, ऐसे दिखा दो. और
mine, okay. Mine is actually on the laptop itself.
okay, so just hold your phone like this and Vani, hold
Yeah,
your
even
copy.
I'll get it.
मेरे पास कॉपी नहीं है अभी, तो मैं वीडियो से जा रहा हूँ एक सेकंड के लिए. चारों ऐसे पकड़ो गाइस. या
Wait.
अब हम ये
Wait, I'll just open the image of the submarine normally.
Yeah.
मैं भी आ जाता ना, लाइक मैं ये दिखाता हूँ. I'm showing the screen.
Yeah, it's just like.
You're showing the trailer of the
Yeah,
film.
I'm showing the trailer.
There you go.
Abba, come on, time.
Yeah, just
Yeah, चलो. Hey, 1, 2, 3, cheese. Yeah. हो गया. Snapshot.
Sorry
मिल
about
जाएगा.
that.
Great.
Let's continue.
Yeah. Can I read an excerpt from this?
Yeah.
No,
From
why
the
not?
novel?
Please go ahead, Abha.
Yeah. This is from the last chapter actually, and it's in the second to last page. It's
Yeah.
when his mother is telling him a ghost story, and then his dad clarifies that it's actually not a ghost story. So yeah, and then his mother wonders why she thought that it was a ghost story, and Oliver says, because the thought of losing your beloved son, that is me, is so terrible that even when you hear about it happening to other people, you have to convince yourself it's not real. And this very sentence really shows how much Oliver has grown and how much he has matured.
Nice. ओजस्वी दम्य आप लोग कुछ पढ़ना चाहेंगे?
Sure. Okay. So when he writes to Zoe, so there is an excerpt from that. Write a diary imagining that you are trying to make an old person jealous. I have written an example to get you started. Dear diary, I spent the morning admiring my skin elasticity. God alive, I feel supple. In the late morning, I met a girl in the bandstand. We did cartwheels, headstands, the crap. I read small print out without squinting. I hear all sorts of minute noises. I never ask the question, am I happy? Even my imaginary experiences are more real and vivid than the day-to-day lives of the over 40s. While walking home from the park, I annihilated the Death Star, discovered a pan-dimensional portal, and shrank myself to the size of a dust mite. I'm not remotely tired. God alive, I feel supple. I think I will spend the rest of the evening standing on one leg. Good day, Oliver.
Nice. Guys, I quickly need to talk about the super chat that we got from Yashodan. Vaani is stuck. I think Vaani will be back. Yashodan has given us a super chat and he has written, I wish you could auction this book signed by the entire Chalchitra team. Hey, nice. This is so nice. I think Yashodan to buy kar bhi lenge. Did you hear that, Vaani? Aapne super chat diya?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so
yeah.
we should totally do that because I think Yashodan ki bids काफी अच्छी होंगी. We know that from our experience. But
yes.
This feels so majestic और ऐसे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा कि यार proper book club की आज feel नहीं आ रही वानी कि like this is real. कि सब ऐसे करके आए हम author को ले आए मतलब that
this is real.
We got the author of Submarine मतलब
that was actually totally
like
unexpected.
what if like I don't know
yeah when Vaikav announced it I was like wait did I just hear that right? The author is coming.
काफी सही यार. This is amazing. So yeah guys please Vaani.
What about you Adamya? What was your favorite?
I don't actually remember a line or something that really stuck with me because it's been some time. I completed the book by 14th of January. Yeah. So, but when
Nice.
when I completed reading the book, when I reached the end, it really struck me that where we started, where Oliver started, and how it has ended. So that was something in that when I was reading the book and in that state of mind that I felt was really amazing. How the book has ended. It is kind of it is very subtle but powerful. It is strong.
Nice. Anubhav has written like in the comments. Anubhav is our patron. उन्होंने comment किया है. There is this quote in the like the book.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as self-help. Unhappy people have a role in society, and that is to make the rest of us feel better. This is so mean. Oh, dude.
But Oliver is mean.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite parts was because I don't want to give you a lot of plot. There was one part where a character uses a simile, and Oliver just says, "Oh, that's another simile. I like her. She's
Nice.
smart. That's it."
Nice.
And I like how he judges everyone. There's nothing like he's mean, of course, but he's coming from the point of view, I think. वो intellect judge करता है. He doesn't really, yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, that was something I noticed as well. And the thing is, I've always loved flawed characters in a movie, a series. I look for flawed characters. I look for flaws in characters whenever I watch something because that's the way I think I can connect with them, or any of us can connect with them because we need characters which we see in our real life, and we have all had these thoughts, right? So we all don't think saintly, if that's the right word, but that is something I really loved with this book because he judges others on those parameters which he thinks he excels upon. So like English vocabulary and intellect. So he judges others on that, and that is something that we all go through, and we go through especially during that teenage phase, because we think we are superior. And
काफी इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहे हो यार अदम में. अपन मिलते हैं यार, कचौरी खाने चलोगे रावत की?
हाँ बिल्कुल
यार बहुत टाइम हो गया प्याज की कचौरी नहीं खाई. अपन मिलते हैं, पिंग करना अलग से.
जयपुर में. हाँ डेफिनेटली जयपुर में निकले हुए काफी टाइम हो गया. हाँ
तो बिल्कुल नाइस. एंड कमेंट्स भी आ रहे हैं, व्हाट्स द नेक्स्ट बुक. गाइस धैर्य हो, क्या बोलते हैं कि पेशेंस रखिए, बताएंगे आपको अगली कौन सी बुक का मंथ है. एंड हमारे अफिलिएटेड लिंक से लेना गाइस, वो हम अफिलिएट लिंक डालेंगे किताब का, एंड नेक्स्ट वीडियो में भी बताएंगे. और कोई सुपर चैट आई है या मेरा फ़ोन मतलब वो हो गया कि वो बार बार दिखाई यशोधन की दिखाई जा रहा है. मैं फ़ोन इज इन लव विद यशोधन एंड इज लाइक मैं पे भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ. इट्स लाइक आई क्रैक्ड द एल्गोरिथम. तो अपन अब इस वाले से या
No, Vaibhav, please say.
हाँ, तो मैं कह रहा था इस वाले सेगमेंट को भी अब एंड की तरफ लाते हैं. एंड एक जाते जाते वानी एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन जो आपके पास तीनों के लिए है. एंड या
What is that one thing you did not like about the book?
मैं भी यही सोच रहा था.
वो नहीं आया तब से.
And Joe is in the comments. He's like, hey, don't discuss this. I'm just saying. No.
Yeah, I'll have to think about this.
I mean, there were moments when I picked up reading and I thought, I hope the next chapter is not, I mean, to put it bluntly, the next chapter is not erotica. I don't want to read erotica now. I mean, that happened sometime, because I was like, I need to know about the story now, please.
Yeah.
And I think that would be something.
मिलो यार, तुम सही बंदे लग रहे हो, कचौरी खाने चलते.
Yeah, nice. Vaibhav is making dining out plans.
Nice.
Amazing.
Guys,
that would be
great.
For me, I think it must be like all those new words were very overwhelming, because every chapter had those, and for a few words I was wondering, is this even English? They were just so, I think that was it was something new. Yeah. And I always had my dictionary next to me to see what this word meant.
Ojasvi ko kuch problems because I remember reading her email. The long email was from Ojasvi. Yeah, I read it.
Yes. Yeah. The longest email was from Ojasvi.
Yeah. I couldn't relate with this book. I mean, whenever I read a book, I try to connect with that book, being in the shoes of the protagonist. But in this case, I couldn't relate with Oliver Tate. And maybe because I'm an adult now, he's a teenager, a typical teenager mind. He fights with his internal battles. So that is the main point. I couldn't relate with this book. But it wasn't a boring book. There was something in this book which kept going, which kept me going. So that was one thing. And one thing I want to read, I really like this part. One thing which I could relate was that, wait, I'll just open it. That how we perceive ourselves and how we see others perceiving us. So there was this comparison that how Oliver perceives himself and how his mother is perceiving himself, his son. So that I really like. And at some point of my life, I also think in that way. So if I can just read that portion. Yeah. So his mother is talking to her friend. So mom lowers her voice, just Oliver being Oliver. I spin around on the swivel chair and look up at the ceiling. Oliver being Oliver, being Oliver, being Oliver. I'm suddenly aware of the separation between my actual self and myself as seen by others. Who would win an arm wrestle? Who is better looking? Who has the higher IQ? So this separation, I really like that.
Nice. So I think Vaani, anything आप भी कुछ बताना चाहोगे? Thing जो आपको
Yeah, I had to remind myself again and again that I am an old woman and this is about a teenage boy. And wo zamana again. Then I realized all of a sudden in bits, oh wait, my friends used to be like this. I used to act like that. So it's completely okay. But yeah. But it was an amazing read overall. I loved it. There are some few things that I've picked up for my journal entries and for my daily habits from this.
Nice. तो दिस वाज सो नाइस गाइस. अब हम नेक्स्ट सेगमेंट पे जाएंगे, बट थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग ओजस्वी, आभा एंड अदम्य. लाइक अगर आप लोग आप लोगों को मजा आया एंड आप में से कोई हमारा पेट्रन है, लाइक आर यू गाइस एनी ऑफ अस, लाइक इफ यू आर नॉट, लाइक प्लीज सपोर्ट अस.
Not yet.
हाँ, हमारे
I am
बुक
an
क्लब का
engineering student, please.
नहीं बन सकते हैं यार इंजीनियरिंग.
Hopefully, if I get a job in a couple of months, I'll join in.
बट लाइक
After my dental studies, I'll surely join you.
या गाइस, बिकॉज हमारा एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है बुक्स का, जहाँ पे सुबह से शाम हम यही बातें करते हैं. एंड यू कैन जॉइन देम. एंड या बट लाइक दिस वाज अमेजिंग. आप लोग आए इसके लिए. एंड आपके जाने के बाद हम नेक्स्ट बुक रिवील करेंगे, सो आप लोग देखते रहना ये वीडियो. एंड आई थिंक यू गाइज वुड लाइक दैट एज वेल. बट जाने से पहले आप लोग कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं? एनी लाइक पार्टिंग पॉइंट्स कोई जो बोलना चाहेगा? ओजस्वी, आभा, अदम्य.
Thank you for calling us. It's a really a great opportunity. Like if I wouldn't have been here, I would have been looking at you and writing something in the chat. So right now being in the video and people looking at me, so that's a great opportunity. And working with you guys for at least this stream, that's a great thing. And thank you so much.
This is so nice.
Yeah,
this is so nice.
That's same here. It was really a nice break for me from studying, so I had a nice time. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Thank you for having us. It was amazing. I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan, and definitely I'll try to start supporting you guys.
Thank you so much. This means
yes,
so much.
yes, I can.
I definitely will. Like in the
thank you
next
so
few
much,
months,
guys.
hopefully.
This means a
Same.
lot.
1 year later.
That's so sweet, guys. Thank you.
So thank you, Ojasvi. Thank you, Abha. Thank you, Adamya. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
And
Hey,
suddenly my
what's
network
up?
is A1.
Huh?
Suddenly my Wi-Fi network, like the network is stable.
Yeah, Murphy's law.
But I think you have secured a date for yourself, Pani, the kachori wali. That's nice.
Yeah.
You've seen the film. Have you seen the film?
Yeah, I've seen the film. Yeah, it's nice. मैं भी वही देख रहा था, उसके कुछ चीजें जो मेरे को पसंद है. आपको मूवी कैसी लगती है?
I like the film. I saw the film first and then I discovered the book.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of stealing this book from a friend as well. So I'm all the more proud. Now I know how people feel when they don't return the books.
Yeah. So अब I think reveal कर देते हैं the book we are picking for next month.
Do you want people to guess in the next 5 minutes first, or do you just want to go ahead?
Guess मैं थोड़ा comments में कर भी रहा था. चलो guys, 20 questions खेलते हैं. Okay, पहला hint है, it's not an Indian author. This is hint number 1. एक hint मैं दूंगा, एक hint आप दोगे. बहुत ऐसे.
Dude, you know how I give hints in the book quiz.
Okay, let me do the honors. It's not an Indian author. The genre is magic realism, and I talk a lot about this author. Vaani doesn't talk a lot about this author, and this book has okay, ये बता दूंगा तो सबको याद आएगा यार. I'm just thinking कि क्या
I had answered this in I had given a big hint in our Instagram Q&A.
And Vaani ने एक Instagram Q&A
You can go and check that as well.
Vaani ने एक hint भी दिया था. The hint is a cat, and
now everyone will know.
Yeah, so hint is a cat, magic realism, not an Indian author. We also had a question about the author in like one of the book quizzes, that he is also a DJ. DJ in the sense वो jazz music की mixing करते हैं अलग अलग उस पे. उन्होंने pandemic में भी एक किया था. No guys, it's not Harry Potter. 2-3 people have already got it. So
अब reveal कर देते हैं.
And we will also try to get the author for this trio, which is going to be the toughest thing ever, because there in author का पता है कितने interviews exist करते हैं internet पे? Zero. So I think
is he on a social media network?
He's too cool for that. He's nowhere, nothing.
Oh, we'll write a letter to him and we'll try.
Write a letter to him.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, guys, Vaani, you do the honors. Yeah.
So we are going to read. Drum rolls karte hain thode se although everyone knows it, but we're going to read Kafka on the Shore by Murakami. For next, I also have a copy here.
Yeah. So
I have, yeah.
So it's going to be Kafka on the Shore. I will buy it now. Buy the affiliated link जो आएगा. Kafka on the Shore by Murakami is the book we are picking for Feb. And अगर आप लोगों ने पढ़ी है तो आप इसको रीरीड कीजिए. And you guys can sign up on the चलचित्र बुक क्लब. हमारा टॉपिक मतलब सबसे ऊपर उसका लिंक आ रहा होगा डिस्क्रिप्शन में. एंड हम इसका अफिलिएट लिंक भी डालेंगे अभी. तो अभी मत खरीदना गाइस, हम एक इसका अफिलिएट लिंक डालने दो वीडियो में. लाइक जल्दी से हम डाल देंगे. तो आर यू गाइस हैप्पी विद आवर लाइक पिक फॉर द नेक्स्ट मंथ? डू टेल अस. और yeah, Vaani, is this your first Murakami ka proper book?
Yeah, proper book, yes. This will be the first. I had started reading Norwegian Wood, but
this will be my 7th Murakami.
Wow. We are going to have you as the guest of honor.
Yeah, and let's try to get Murakami for this. It was on my list. I read the book, Kafka on the Shore. Cool, people are excited. Yeah guys, this was a lot of fun and काफी तगड़ा हो गया ये तो. I'm so happy we got the author and like this is the best start to a book a month with Vaani and we look forward to more of these. Vaani, आपको कैसी feel आ रही है? Like काफी ऐसा
I was a little caught up in so many things that when that happened, I just had to take a pause and I was like, that actually happened. And then I got really busy and then before the stream I was like, shit, this actually happened. And then he was so nice and polite. And I loved how he accepted that, you know, the character might be flawed. There were a few things that he himself did not like about the character. And I was like, yeah.
And I also liked how we got to meet the people जिनके साथ discussion था. तो वो बहुत सही हो गया. Anurag is saying in the comments, it will be his first Murakami. You should read Sputnik Sweetheart. Can beginners read this book? Yeah, I think the way Murakami is translated, you can. It's not the easiest Murakami book but you can totally read it. I'm on cloud nine. I gifted this to myself in January. Anubhav is saying. Can you please?
I'm so sorry I cut you off. Now I'm also afraid that a lot of people will look at its length and they will get really scared. So it is 600 pages long, but we'll try to do a little math. And even if you guys read like 30 pages every day, you'll finish it in 20 days.
Hey, so you got the 30... math right. I'm impressed.
But yeah, so you can try reading at least 25 to 30 pages. I'm pretty certain. But make sure you do that every day, 25 to 30 pages. And by the end of this month, you would have completed the book. So even if you're a beginner, please do not get scared by the size of the book.
So Jyotsna is saying it will be her first Murakami book. Guys, अभी मत खरीदना. जैसी stream खत्म होगा ना, हम description में link डालेंगे. Please उससे खरीदना. उससे हमें भी like it will help us like run the channel better. And yeah, it's translated. Obviously, it's translated. And yeah, I think this is it. Affiliate link is in the description, guys. Affiliate link is in the description. Saurabh just messaged me. So please buy Kafka on the Shore. अब आप जा सकते हैं. Comments में आ गया है वो, like description में आ गया है. And this is, I'm really excited about this. मैं भी आज link use करके खरीदूंगा. And because Vaani doesn't give me anything, so I think I'll do the honors. And I'm checking out why there is no Murakami interview on YouTube. Couldn't find any. See, if you become too cool in life, you don't need those things. वो हम कुछ दिन पहले discuss कर रहे थे. Become so successful that you can afford to be off the social media, and Murakami is that. Murakami की Men Without Women पढ़ी है. Yeah, I have read that too. I think कहीं होनी चाहिए यहाँ पे. I stole it from someone. I stole it from my भाभी. उसका hardbound copy. It's also very nice. Niharika getting late हो गई. Did you guys read what I talk about when I talk about running? Yeah, I think उनकी non-fiction book है. I have heard quite a lot about it, but I haven't read it. But this will be a lot of fun. Cool pick. People are happy, and we are also very excited that we'll get to read it with you. And yeah, guys, Rose.
Hey, by the way, Vikram Singh Thakur in the comments. He's going to join us for a live pretty soon. He's my sort of teacher, my mentor,
Nice.
and he'll be joining us for a stream super soon.
Nice,
So,
nice. So
yeah.
that will be happening very soon, guys. So do look for
Yeah.
look for that. And is it on Kindle? Hard copies are damn expensive. नहीं यार मतलब काफका की तो हमने रेट चेक की थी. It's कितने का है? Like 500-700 bucks?
Yeah, 499.
499 की है या
And अभी
590?
डिस्काउंट भी चल रहा था.
अभी
guys.
डिस्काउंट भी चल रहा है काफका पे, so you can buy it. And Kindle edition और भी सस्ता होगा उसका. Your
Yeah.
freedom session has started. Notification आ गई. 11 बज गए. And so anything else that you want to add like about the book a month with Vaani जो आप लोगों से expect कर रहे हैं, जो आपकी खुद की feelings है? Anything else?
Yeah, guys, do write. So we've created an email thread. We create an email thread at the end of every month, and we loop in people who want to read the book with us. And please sign up for the link. It will be in the description box below. And please ensure that your emails are perfectly written. अगर आपने पहले भी sign up किया था and आपको emails नहीं जा रहे हैं, that's probably because आपने अपने email enter करने में कुछ problem किया होगा. Like you must have missed out on some characters. But please do so because we'll start the email thread again on 1st of Feb. So you have 3 more days. And yeah, and just keep on updating us on your progress as well on that thread. We would love it.
Yeah.
And it would really...
And if you guys are like, you get a copy, do like tag Chalchitra Talks on Instagram जब भी आप इसका पढ़ रहे हो. And you can use the hashtag a book a month with Vaani. तो ज़रूर ये यूज़ कीजिए, ज़रूर इंस्टा पे डालिए, अपने फ्रेंड्स को बोलिए, बिकॉज मुराकामी इज़ अ वेरी एक्सेसिबल ऑथर इन अ वे. सो अगर सबमरीन आपको थोड़ी सी इनएक्सेसिबल थोड़ी भी लगी 5%, इट्स नॉट ट्रू फॉर मुराकामी. And our plan is to pick up non-fiction also, like do all those things. And because we are also learning with like you guys कि इसको कैसे run करनी है इस community को, especially a book a month series. So yeah, that is it, guys. It is a wonderful book, one book that has become my all-time favorite. So yeah, this is like all the more nice, like it's exciting me also now. So anything else that you want to add, or shall we end the stream?
We can, I think.
So,
I don't think there's anything to add.
ठीक है. So guys, Feb में last week of Feb, Feb छोटा होता है तो ध्यान रखना, ठीक है. Feb के last week में एक book a month का जो second session है वो होगा. And if you guys want to participate in it, do write to us. We give the first preference to our Godfathers and Gladiators. Become our members. हमारा एक WhatsApp ग्रुप है बुक्स का जहाँ हम सुबह से शाम बातें करते हैं. तो अगर आप ग्लैडिएटर या गॉडफादर बनोगे, आपको तीनों की एक्सेस में, गॉडफादर बनोगे तो आपको तीनों व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स की एक्सेस मिल जाएगी. ग्लैडिएटर बनोगे तो यू कैन डिसाइड कि आपको बुक ज्वाइन करना है, मूवी ज्वाइन करना है या म्यूजिक ज्वाइन करना है. एंड वी टॉक अबाउट दीज थिंग्स देयर एवरी डे. दोज आर द पीपल, उन लोगों को सबसे पहले पता चला था कि द ऑथर इज कमिंग ऑफ सबमरीन, हू विल बी जॉइनिंग अस टुडे. सो या गाइस, पढ़ते रहते हैं, एक दूसरे के साथ शेयर करते रहेंगे जो भी हमारी लाइक प्रोग्रेस है, रीडिंग प्रोग्रेस है. And we'll see you guys next week. कल भी मिलेंगे हम आपसे.
कल भी मिलेंगे हम. हम कल भी मिलेंगे.
हम कल भी मिलेंगे. कल मेरा और वानी का स्ट्रीम है, बट लाइक हम लाइक मुराकामी के साथ आपसे, काफ्का ऑन द शोर के साथ हम आपसे मिलेंगे इन द लास्ट वीक ऑफ फेब. रुको प्लीज़ 2 मिनट. ऐसा क्या कर रहे हो? सुपर चैट दे रहे हो क्या? सुपर चैट दे रहे हो तो रुक जाते हैं. अरे बुक क्विज फिनाले कब है? बुक क्विज का फिनाले इस संडे को है गाइज. And we are also really looking forward to that. And
the winner will get a typewriter. So
winner will get a typewriter.
The stakes are high.
कुछ चीज़ें कर रहे हैं हम चैनल पे. मतलब मैं ऐसा सोचता हूँ कि यार कितना we got the author of Submarine. We are giving a typewriter. We are doing all these
Submarine
things.
It was a surprise. I wasn't sure he would. I thought कि ठीक है.
Yeah.
I was. Yeah.
So
it was nice.
Guys, do tell us how should we approach Murakami. We should never say never. You should always like take the risks, and we will try to get Murakami. उनकी first world की उनकी first like face reveal होगा where people. We'll also have to get a translator for that. Like मतलब I don't know. नहीं, but उनको आती है English, but वो mostly Japanese में बोलते हैं. So if you guys कोई है तो हम आपको preference देंगे अगर आप translate कर सकते हैं जो Murakami हम बोल रहे हो.
We should start writing letters and sending him postcards already.
Yeah. Let's spam him in the offline way. Offline spamming is nice, I think, at least in this regard. So, chalo
Let
guys,
us all write letters to him.
Yeah.
Hey, Conversing just gave us a super chat.
Hey, I can't see it.
He said, Ruko, buying super chat. That's so nice.
Hey, nice.
You can't see it.
Oh, and Nix is saying Nix is a godfather, I think. He is right. I endorse the WhatsApp group. So, guys, हमारे godfathers and gladiators बहुत खुश रहते हैं. So, like, you should totally become our member because it helps us sustain, and we think a lot about the people who are like हम उनको perks देते रहते हैं, and like we do it all the time. Yeah, guys, we'll end the stream now. मेरे को super chat अभी भी नहीं दिख रही तो, but like thank you Conversing for paying us and paying the super chat, and like we'll see you tomorrow, and Kafka on the show के साथ हम आपको मिलेंगे on Feb last week. ठीक है? I'll end the stream now. Bye guys.
Bye guys.